Okay, this is for Algebra 1. Good morning. It's Monday, February 25th. I'm sorry that I'm not in class. There was a death in my husband's family and I have to be at the funeral. Please pay very close attention to these notes. Please work really hard and be on best behavior. Go ahead and take a few minutes. Get your calendar out. You need to fill in your calendar. For Monday, it will be lines and slope. For Tuesday, it will be linear functions. For Wednesday, we will be changing slope and y-intercept. For Thursday, it will be radical functions, part 1, and on Friday, it will be radical functions, part 2. So go ahead and get your calendar filled out so you're good to go for the week. If you don't get it all done now, it does say on the board at the back of the room, but it'd be best to do this now. Okay, so now you're looking at your white paper, which is the notes for today. We're talking about lines and slope today. We're leaving quadratic functions and we're going back to linear functions. This is not something new. You've done it before. It's just been a while. Remember that a linear function, when you look at the graph, is going to be a straight line. The parent function is y equal x, so we won't have any exponents going on today. So thinking back to slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. So fill that in your first blank. Slope-intercept form is y equal mx plus b. When you're looking at it in slope-intercept form, m is your slope and b is your y-intercept. So when they ask you to find the slope and the y-intercept for an equation, the first thing you've got to do is get it in slope-intercept form. This technically means get y by itself. So in the next problem they've given you, if you will notice, y is by itself. So it's just ready for you to find the slope and the y-intercept. Remember, m is your slope, and it is always the number with x. So for this problem, your slope is 3/5. b is your y-intercept, and it is always the constant or the number by itself. So on this one, it's the number at the end, so -4. It's important that you keep the sign with it. Since it was -4, your y-intercept is a -4. So take a minute and look at the next one. Find the slope and y-intercept for y equal 1/4 x plus 5. Take a minute, write down what you think it is. Okay, remember we said that m is your slope. It's the number with x, so for this one, it's 1/4. b is your y-intercept. It's the constant or the number by itself. So on this one, it's 5. So as long as y is by itself already, it's pretty simple to find your slope and your y-intercept. Find the slope and y-intercept for 3x minus 2y equals 6. What they've done to you here is y is not by itself. So the first thing you have to do is get y by itself. So you'll take your 3x minus 2 equals 6. Sorry, that's 3x minus 2y equals 6. You need to move your 3x. Don't lose the minus with the 2y. Negative 2y is equal to 6 minus 3x. When I moved the 3x, I had to subtract it because it was positive in the original problem. Y is not by itself yet, so every single part of the problem needs to be divided by -2. So y is equal to 6 divided by -2 is a -3. Negative divided by negative is a positive. I really want my number in front of x to be a fraction, so just leave this 3/2x. Now, you could have done 3 divided by 2 and written down 1.5, but we really don't like to see your slope as a decimal. You could have done 3 divided by 2, got 1.5, done math enter. That way you knew it was reduced. That's okay. Something interesting here is that your x is at the end, so don't let that confuse you. Slope, or m, is still the number with x, so it is 3/2. Y-intercept is the constant, -3. Okay, so take a minute and do this one by yourself. You're going to move things around so that y is by itself, and you're going to find the number in front of x, and that's your slope, find the number in front of the number by itself, and that's your y-intercept. Okay, so we have 2x minus 3y is equal to negative 4. We're going to move our 2x, so negative 3y is equal to negative 4 minus 2x. Every single thing is going to get divided by negative 3. And y is equal to negative divided by negative makes it a positive 4/3. Negative over a negative is a positive 2/3 x. Now, if you made them into decimals, it's not the end of the world, but I prefer to see, especially your slope, as a fraction. Slope is a number with x, and so it's 2/3. Y-intercept is the number by itself, it's 4/3. If you had made it into a decimal, your slope would have been 0.67, and your y-intercept would have been 1.33. Okay, now they want you to find the equation for a line that has a y-intercept, which we remember is b, of negative 1, and it goes through the point 6, negative 4. So y equal mx plus b is our starting point. And we're going to put the negative 1 in for b, and we're going to put the 6 in for x, and we're going to put the negative 4 in for y. Because remember, a point is given as x, y. So when you get all of that done, it takes you to negative 4 equals m times x was 6. That was a negative 1, I believe, so minus 1. Don't put a plus and negative if you can keep from it. So now you're just going to work through and move things around until m is by itself. So we're going to move this 1 over here and add it. So you would take your calculator, and negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3 equals m times 6. So we're going to divide both sides by 6, and you get negative 1/2 is equal to m. So then you're going to take your negative 1/2 and your negative 1, and you're going to put them back in to your slope-intercept form. Y is equal to m, we found was negative 1/2, x minus 1, because they told me that b was negative 1. They gave me the y-intercept. Okay, that's probably the hardest one of the day, so just do your best on these problems. Okay, you can ask me questions tomorrow. So we have a y-intercept, and it passes through the point 2, negative 4. Same thing. You're starting out with y equal mx plus b. Y for the point was negative 4 equals, we don't know m. X for the point was 2. And plus your b, your y-intercept was negative 3/2, so minus 3/2. So we're going to take this over and we're going to add the 3/2. So if you take your handy-dandy calculator, because I see it's a fraction, and say negative 4 plus 3 divided by 2, you're going to get negative 2.5 is equal to m times 2. Divide both sides by 2. And you get negative 1.25 is equal to m. We like for it to be a fraction, so math, enter. Negative 5/4 is equal to m. So we're going to take our y-intercept and our slope and put them back in for m and b. Y is equal to negative 5/4 x minus 3/2, and that's your answer. Like I said, that's probably the toughest part of the whole assignment today. Do the best you can. It will be all right. Okay, if they give you a graph and want you to find the slope and the y-intercept, you could look at it and find it off the graph. And I'm okay if you understand that. It's great to do it that way. If you're not sure, you want to pick 2 points. You want to put them in stat on your calculator. Then you're going to go to stat, calc, 4. A is m because it's your slope, and b is b because it's your y-intercept. So let's go to stat, edit, go up and clear everything out. So go to L2, clear enter, go over to L1, clear enter. I'm going to use the point, I'm going to use this point, which is negative 1, negative 1. And I'm going to use this point, which is 2, 2. So my x values are negative 1 and 2. My y values are negative 1 and 2. I'm going to go Stat, go over to Calc, choose number 4 for linear regression, and press Enter. And it tells me, it looks like this. Linear regression, y equal ax plus b, a equals 1, b equals 0. That's what my calculator shows. That tells me that m is 1 and b is 0. Calculator does all the work for you here. So we have another one, same thing. Go to Stat, Edit. I'm going to use this point and this point. So we've got -2, 8, and we've got 2, 0. So my x values are -2 and 2. My y values, or L1 values, are 8 and 0. The important thing is that you get the x into L1. So this and this goes in L1. This and this goes in L2. That's the important part of doing this. Stat, over to Calc, number 4 for linear regression, press Enter, and my A, which is my m, my slope, is -2, and B is 4. Okay, so now it just wants you to write a line that has the same slope as y equals 3x. We'll start by figuring out what is the slope of this one. Slope is the number with x, and so for this one it was 3. So you can write any equation as long as 3 is in front of x. So y is equal to 3x minus 5 would be an example. Y is equal to 3x plus 8 would be another example. As long as you have a 3 with your x, it's good. Write a line that has the same y-intercept as x plus 3y equal 12. But they're trying to trick you here because you don't know your y-intercept until y is by itself. So move your x. 3y is equal to 12 minus x. Divide everything by 3. Y is equal to 4 minus 1/3 x. Because when there's not a number in front of x, it's like that's a 1. Y-intercept is the number by itself. So I've got to have 4. Y is equal to 2x plus 4. Doesn't matter what's in there as long as you've got a plus 4. Okay, this takes you to your assignment. Most of your assignment is multiple choice, but I expect you to show some work. Don't just circle letters. Work hard, stay quiet, be on best behavior, and if you have questions about it, you're supposed to do everything you can, the best you can, turn it in before you leave class, and if there's questions or problems, we'll talk about it when I get back tomorrow, okay? So you have your multiple choice that went with this, and then of course there is another little worksheet for you to do if you finish. Be on best behavior. Sorry I wasn't here today. I'll see y'all tomorrow.